Hey, morning guys, welcome back to the channel and another episode on the 911. Haven't done anything on it for a couple of weeks now because I've been away for a little while with my wife. And yeah, so got to get on with this project because it's very, very slow. And I tell you, I was hoping to be out on the road by this time this year, but obviously, you know, with the issues that I've had with the paint, it's taken a massive step backwards. So yeah, I'm going to get it up in the air, have a look where I left it, show you around, and do a little bit of work on it this morning. I'm not going to do too much loud work because it's very early on a Sunday morning and I don't want to upset the neighbours, but I've got to get on, so here goes. Okay, so before I get into the underside, I'm just going to tidy up under here a little bit because I obviously didn't do that when I was scraping off all of the old or dodgy underseal from the last time. So I'm going to give this a bit of a clean first. Okay, so rather than going into massive detail, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to continue on locating the spots which need dealing with, like these, for example. You know, when I was pressing it with my nail, then you can realise that the stone chip is still soft underneath. So there are some and some really. The majority of it's okay, I would say, but where I've put these little spots, that's where it's soft to the touch. You can see here the little marks that I've put in with my nail. So that means the stone chip hasn't gone dry underneath the paint. So I'm just going to take that back to the bare metal and yeah, just carry on like that for a little bit really. But nothing really to show you. I'll give you an update when I've made some progress. Okay, I'm heading off now, packing up for the day. And just to give you a quick update, what I've done basically, I've spent a couple of hours, or maybe 3 or 4 hours actually, taking off all of that seam sealant again. In some places it's gone back to bare metal, so you can see where I've used the primer to cover the bare metal, just very lightly at the moment. Around here as well, you can see up through here. But I'm quite pleased with that. I keep finding more patches which are just quite soft to the touch. So every time I find them, I take them down with the angle grinder, with the wire wheel. But I think we're getting there now. I think it's basically limited to the rear section of the car. And yeah, hopefully very soon I will be putting on the stone chip, or putting the seam sealant on again, and the stone chip. And I've actually got the stone chip and the seam sealant all from the same company. It's always best to use the same brand. Whoops. And I'll do it all in here. Obviously, I'm going to probably build myself like a spray booth around the car so I can heat it. Because the biggest issue was when we did it the last time, or when I had it done the last time, it was just too cold. So I've got to get the temperature up to maybe 25 degrees, if not higher, if possible, within the little spray booth. And it should all be fine. And obviously leave 24 hours between the seam sealant, between the stone chip, and then between the colour that goes on top. The wind's blowing this plastic everywhere. But that's the plan anyway. So as I say, packing up now and going home. So yeah, I'll see you next time. Okay guys, so I've just got the delivery back from the metal worker who has done a little bit of work on some of the parts on the Porsche. So he's sandblasted with glass pearls, I think it's called. Glass pearls and water. I don't quite know the real name for that, but it's supposed to be a little bit more protective of the parts. So these are the suspension parts, looking pretty good. Another one over here. These are yet to be done. He did the cats, which seem to be full of sand now, which is slightly worrying. So it doesn't look like he blocked those off when he did them. And also the header pipes there. But I in fact asked him to plate those, but they haven't been plated yet, so I'm going to have to take those back and get them plated. I'm going to have them plated silver. And here is a big box of nuts and bolts, which I did bag up and label, but he was just unable to keep the bags and labels, so I've got to sort through these now. There are some things that obviously didn't withstand the sandblasting, which is completely pointless, but I thought I'd give it a go anyway. And they are the brackets for the end of the exhaust pipes. But there are also things in here like the lug nuts, which are gold, and I need those to be silver. So I'm gonna have to send those back, but it's no big deal. That has to be silver as well, because the other one's silver. But otherwise, everything's fine in gold. I think it's quite cool. Yeah, I haven't got the bill for this lot yet, because you can see that somebody has taken a long time to put all these together on a line of wire. But yeah, we'll see. Some of them have got to go back. Most of them I can use, obviously. So yeah, I've got to blast them all down and somehow try and get all the sand out of these two cats here. So hopefully that should be fine. And as I say, send these back and get them plated. Okay guys, so just popped up to the garage after work today. Haven't even changed into my work clothes, or at least out of my work clothes. So anyway, what I'm doing is I'm going through this entire box. Let me turn the camera around. This entire box of fittings that I've got from the car, and they've all been by hand wound together by with cable. So I won't tell you how much this has cost because it's ridiculous. I just found out today and almost fell off my chair. Had I known it was going to cost this much, I'm not sure whether I would have done it or not, because it's insane. I'd love to say it was not very close to €1,000, but I'd be lying if I said that. So don't ask. Just don't ask. I don't know. Feeling a little bit sick because there was no mention of it costing that much when I ordered it. But that goes to show when you don't talk about cost or price before you order something, then you're going to get shafted. Okay guys, so I've laid it all out now, taken all of the wire off, which is now in that bin over there. Tons of it. It took forever. And now I'm going through with the papers that I made when I bagged all the nuts and bolts up to make sure everything's there and that everything gets put back with each of its component. Okay, so I've spent probably, I don't know, maybe an hour and a half or so just matching up all of the bolts, all of the fittings and bell housing bolts, that sort of thing, to all of the notes that I had before. And so I noted them all down and they all match up. I had a bit of a concern at one point because in a couple of cases I'd actually doubled up, like on these rear cross brace bolts and rear subframe bolts. So, and here look, rear diagonal cross braces. So I was searching around and thinking, oh God, we've lost some. But obviously what I did when I was marking them down, I marked down 2 of them twice. So that's absolutely fine. Those are all there, those are all there. Pretty much everything's there. The only thing I can't really check on at the moment is the miscellaneous parts. Brackets there for the anti-roll bar at the front. These hub nuts are different, and I'm wondering maybe if there's a different one that goes on the front, that goes on the back, most likely. These brackets here, as I say, are absolutely shafted. Can't really use them, have to buy some new ones. Front axle bolts there, they all gone back into the piece of card that I made. And yeah, so really cool, quite exciting, because obviously if you, let me have a look, where can I do one? If you put the gold into the, oh man, into the alloy, it looks so cool. I mean, this is getting a little bit anal, but who cares? It looks brilliant. I can't wait.